To understand what tools palette is and what functions it performs, let's place some controls on the front panel. Now as you keep an eye on the cursor, at this moment the cursor is in the plus shape. When I move it inside the control, it becomes an I-beam, meaning I can edit the items. If I move the cursor to the border of the control, it becomes an arrow, meaning that I can move this control. If I move it inside, then it becomes a finger pointed hand, which means that I can press this button. If I move this cursor to the connector pane, it becomes a wiring tool. This means that something is working behind the scenes and selecting all these different tools. So let's invoke the tools palette and see it working. Go to the view menu and select tools palette. Now as I move the cursor, you can see that the tools are changing by themselves. If I turn this option on, this option is turned on because this LED is on. If I turn it on, which is automatic tool selection, then this change of the tools will not happen. The tool is stuck on the selection mode. I can only select and move around the objects, but I cannot type inside them. For doing that, I will have to manually turn the tool on. When the tool is turned off, you can press the tab key to move between the most commonly used tools. You can press Shift tab to turn on automatic tool selection. By default, the tools automatic selection is turned on. To turn it off, you can go to the tools menu, then to the options, then to the environment tab, and then you can uncheck this option which is by default turned on, which is lock automatic tool selection. Another way of invoking tools palette temporarily is to hold down Shift key and then right click on the block diagram. The only use for invoking the tools palette would be to invoke it for coloring the palette, since this brush icon, this brush tool, is only available from the tools palette. Otherwise, we don't need to invoke this tools palette. Some of the functions are for working with the front panel objects, and some objects like this breakpoint and this probe tool are available when you are working on the block diagram. For coloring, you can just press this brush tool and right click on an object. A palette appears. You can select your tool, color, preview it, then click it to finalize it and use it. But now, as you can see, the mouse cursor is stuck with the brush icon, since once you select a tool, the tools palette goes off its automatic mode. To turn it back, Shift right click and turn it back on. Now it can operate in its automatic mode. Thanks for watching.